Breaking news into CBS Sports HQ. The LA Lakers have cleared the way to add another max player alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. ESPN reports that Anthony Davis is waiving his $4 million trade kicker. Also, the Lakers trading Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga, and Jamario Jones to the Wizards as part of the Anthony Davis deal with New Orleans. This gives LA around $32 million to add another superstar. So here are the details of the proposed trade. Again, this just broke a few minutes ago. Wagner, Bonga, Jones, all to the Wizards, and AD waives his trade kicker. That paves the way and is how Rob Pelinka and that front office are going to bring in a max player if they choose to. We'll see. All right, for reaction, let's bring in Bill Ryder. He is the host of Ryder's Block here on HQ every day at 5 Eastern. Bill, let's take this piece by piece. First, your reaction to Anthony Davis waiving his trade kicker because we weren't sure if he was going to.
Yeah, Casey, I mean, it's not my place to tell another grown man what to do with his money or whether to give money up, but it would have been a bad look, and certainly folks in that Lakers organization were prepared to be a little bit put out if Anthony Davis was going to force his way out of New Orleans and then demand money because he was traded. This creates a situation that everybody wanted to see from Anthony Davis, that he's all in, that he's committed, and that $4.7 million and change isn't going to be more important than trying to build a championship team. And as you noted, it gives the Lakers whatever flexibility they want. But I think in the short term, this is a move that engenders Anthony Davis to this Lakers organization, and it shows that he's committed with his actual hard-earned dollars that could have been his to doing his part to try to make sure the Lakers are competitive next year and the years beyond for an NBA championship.
And what do you think of Rob Pelinka finding a trade partner for these three guys? I mean, this is a guy, Pelinka, who, you know, a lot of trash has been talked, not just famously from Magic Johnson, but people in the media. Jeannie Buss comes out the other day and says, look, we're not defined by what the media says. Sure enough, they're working in the background to get this deal done. What does this say about Pelinka and your reaction there?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that has talked trash. I'm not sure I've called Rob Pelinka trash, but I've doubted his acumen as a general manager. And the answer is it depends on what they do with the space. I mean, if you're willing to give away something, someone's going to take it from you. They include, reportedly, a second-round pick. I think a 2022 second-round pick as part of these deals. But it's Rob Pelinka doing the job he needs to do and following the playbook the Lakers have always followed, for better or worse, and that is clear space, don't worry about depth, make it about superstars, and at least in theory, good things will follow.
Okay, so let's talk about those superstars that they could go after. I think in order, a lot of the rumors have said Kawhi Leonard and then Kemba Walker and then D'Angelo Russell. Is that sort of the order that you would approach this in?
Yeah, I mean, talking to Lakers sources, at least as of a few days ago, and as you know, as we just are learning here on CBS Sports HQ, things change pretty rapidly. Their wish list would be something on the line of Kawhi 1, KD 2, Klay 3. But I think folks in that organization recognize that's highly unlikely. No one really knows what Kawhi Leonard is thinking. And talking to sources, their realistic wish list is Kyrie number 1, Kemba number 2, and Jimmy Butler number 3. Now, as we discussed, Casey, earlier on the network, about an hour ago, not even an hour ago, it sounds like, and again, we don't know, it sounds like Kyrie is going to probably be in net. It sounds like Kemba is going to be in Boston or maybe Dallas. And so the question, I think, with this trade, or these trades and this cap space being created is one of two things. Is Rob Pelinka doing his due diligence and just creating the space to make a run and change someone's mind? Or, and this happens in the NBA, even though it's not supposed to, are there some back-channel conversations going on, and do the Lakers already have a pretty clear sense of who they can go get? And I'm guessing here, but if Jimmy Butler is open to a sign-and trade with a Rockets team that wouldn't be very competitive, he's probably open to taking a year less, being a Laker, and chasing a championship. So I know that Lakers organization had him at number 3 on their wish list in terms of what's realistic. It sounds like Jimmy Butler's open to being somewhere else. That's a name I'm certainly keeping my eye on with this news.
You're there in Los Angeles. How would that be taken if it was indeed Jimmy Butler? I've heard some people not so sure about the fit, yet another guy who likes the ball in his hands. How do you think people would react to that?
Yeah, and this is where, again, not talking trash, but my skepticism of Rob Pelinka and really the philosophy that's guided the Lakers for so long, it remains. It remains certainly in 2019. I'm with that skepticism. That Jimmy Butler trade has the potential, that signing, to be like the Chris Paul signing a couple years ago, a really bad deal in a year or two. And one of the advantages, I think, for this Lakers organization, you have LeBron James, who at least for my money is still the best player on earth. You have Anthony Davis. You're going to lock him up whenever the Lakers sign him to a max deal, which he'll sign for his prime. Do you really want to pair AD with two aging superstars? To me, it makes a lot more sense to have LeBron be the guy now, Anthony Davis in the years ahead, and then some other young player like a Ben Simmons you can add a year from now. But again, there's this philosophy, and this goes all the way to Jeannie Buss, who is very much her father's daughter. This idea, this belief that you get superstars, you get big names, and you worry about the details later. Sometimes that works. Certainly the Shaq and Kobe pairing when they went and got Shaq was a really good situation. But sometimes Dwight Howard and Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Gasol, sometimes it doesn't go the way that it's supposed to. So we'll see, and there's a bit of a fight, as I understand it, in that Lakers organization, what direction, what philosophy they should take as they get ready for free agency officially here in a few days.
They would probably have full agreement if Kawhi Leonard said, yeah, I'm on board, I'll come over. And there was a report recently that said Kawhi may be keeping an eye on the Lakers to see if they could clear up another max spot, and they have. If you're Toronto or the Clippers, how do you react to this news today?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly don't love it and you don't like it. And it's a really interesting question because, and we've discussed this so much here on the network, Kawhi's a mystery. He really is. Nobody actually knows what Kawhi is thinking. And while we're speculating that it is Toronto or it's the Clippers, maybe it's not. I mean, we know LeBron James reached out behind the scenes this past year. We know LeBron is going to try to sell Kawhi. And the conventional wisdom, and it includes my own sort of feeling, is that Kawhi Leonard's not going to want to come play with LeBron James. But that's a straight guess. I'm absolutely uncertain. And I was talking to a Lakers source the other day, and I was trying to get information about whether or not Kawhi was a real target. And the person said, look, I have no idea. We have no idea. But if he comes, planning those parade routes may not be out of the line of what makes sense early on. So they're going to go after Kawhi. He's a no-brainer. We have no idea what Kawhi wants to do, but we do know that the Lakers now have the means to go get him if Kawhi Leonard's open to being in the purple and gold.
A report just now, Bill, from Yahoo says that LeBron James is going to give Anthony Davis his number 23. So maybe a $4 million present here. What do you think?
You know, I love that. That is the absolute nuance and sort of gray area of LeBron James. People try to make the argument, Casey, he's the worst teammate or he's the best teammate. He's an amazing leader. He's a terrible leader. He's actually all of those things depending on the situation. If he respects you, if you're in the banana boat with him, so to speak, if you're in the trenches with him, if he wants you to be part of his world, he is an incredible teammate. And if not, he's disinterested to the point of it tearing a locker room apart. We saw the tearing of the locker room apart last season, but AD is the guy that he wanted. We all know LeBron was instrumental. He was probably tampering as it relates to going and getting AD. And the fact he'd give up his number, it's an act of humility, it's an act of commitment, and it certainly speaks to a much better version of the Lakers, just in terms of their mood and their chemistry, to say nothing of that talent going forward this next season and beyond.
Yep, well said. It is a feel-good day for sure in L.A. But I got to go back to, and they weren't feel-good days, that's when D'Angelo Russell was there, and there are some reports that there might be mutual interest. You said that that wouldn't be received great in L.A. because a lot of people still beholden to Magic Johnson, but wouldn't winning fix all that if they did come to terms there with Russell?
Yeah, I think winning fixes everything, and I think it's one of the shortcomings of this Lakers organization is they're so focused on the short-term press conference win. They have not at times had a very effective long-term plan. And for folks who haven't been to L.A. or lived here, it's a cult, Casey. The Lakers and the Dodgers, it is the first time that I moved here, I went into a DMV to get my driver's license, and I honestly thought I walked into the wrong place. It was a government building that was covered in Kobe Bryant paraphernalia and Lakers posters. It was insane. And so, as a guy that's done sports talk radio here, I can tell you, if you're not touting the company line with the Lakers, people lose their minds. And the company line, what people have talked about, the water cooler talk in L.A. has been, D'Lo was a bum. Thank God we got rid of him. People here don't like criticizing Magic Johnson. I think he's a good player. I don't know if he's the right fit for me. As we discussed, I'd probably try to go get more like a guy like Danny Green and a Patrick Beverley for the money you'd have to get D'Angelo Russell for. But you're right. If you win with the guy, everything's going to be fine. I just maintain you're going to win. You have LeBron and Anthony Davis. I don't know that getting the biggest name is the plan. I don't know that option 5 or 6 or 7 on the list of biggest or most expensive players in 2019 free agency is what I would do, but it's not my call. And, you know, this is a Lakers team that likes to go after big swings, and if you swing and miss on the guys we've talked about, D'Angelo Russell is a pretty interesting backup to the backup to the backup plan.
All right, so let's talk about even the backup plan beyond that, and that would be spreading the wealth here. Yeah, they've got agreements to clear up enough for a max player, but we just saw, Bill, with the Toronto Raptors, depth came through and won a title. So what do you think about that philosophy, maybe spreading it around with some of these guys?
Casey, I'm 100% with you. I mean, you said it. We saw the Raptors win an NBA championship with a single star and a lot of depth and an interesting mix of some young players like Siakam, some veterans like Gasol, guys on the perimeter who can shoot the three like Danny Green. There are 3 or 4 names on that screen that I love for the Lakers. I love Trevor Ariza. I love J.J. Redick if you can go afford him. I love Patrick Beverley. I keep bringing up Danny Green. I think he's really interesting. I don't think Boogie's going to take less money to make it work for the Lakers, but he didn't get his championship this year, so you never know what he's thinking, what he wants to do, how he feels about LeBron. I am with you. And it's a little different now because before it was $23, $24 million, and D'Angelo Russell in some ways made sense because he didn't have the max money. If they go out and they get a max guy, if they have the opportunity, Kawhi's a no-brainer, but if a Kyrie surprises us, if a Kemba surprises us, if a Jimmy Butler says, I want to do it, whether it's right or not, the Lakers are going to sign those guys, and that's going to be the situation. If you swing and miss on those guys, again, for me, I'm going after as many of those names on that list you just showed us as we can get.
Okay, so whoever they get, they've got $32 million now to work with. They've got LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Do you think the Lakers are the team to beat in the NBA, especially considering the banged-up Warriors?
Yeah, and barring knowing where Kawhi's going, I had this argument with a buddy of mine who's a Lakers fan the other day. I think the Clippers are the favorite. I really do if Kawhi goes, especially if, say, an Al Horford joins him. But as the landscape is currently constructed, these are the favorites for me right now. I don't buy this notion because I think it's wrong that LeBron is on the downturn. He had a 28, 8-7 season last year. He didn't play defense, but it wasn't because he can't. It was because he was put out. He was petulant LeBron. He's going to be happy LeBron this upcoming season. Anthony Davis is entering his prime, maybe a top 5 player. Whatever they do, I think the Lakers are contenders. And I think the difference between whether they're hoisting that trophy or they get close is in the decisions they make over the next few days.
Yep, Anthony Davis just entering his prime. He will wear number 23 in purple and gold. We'll see what number LeBron James has after this. Bill Ryder, thanks so much for the reaction and the perspective.